Hello folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm, where my addictions all over the internet. On this channel I do book hauls, book reviews, both digital and physical media, audiobooks, and so much more. So I've just uploaded my Kindle reading vlog. I believe it's episode number 23. And I mentioned this book that I'm about ready to do a review on, because at the time I was only on chapter 25, and there was like 52 chapters in the book, plus the epilogue, or the yeah. Well, I finished it. The Librarian of Burned Books by Brianna Labuskes. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. So, as I said, this has 52 chapters plus the epilogue that takes place in 1995. And this is when a girl called Margaret, her mother is in her 70s, and she's been through a lot. She has been through a lot. So the story that is taught or told in this book is about censorship, both sides. The part where you got books being burned, and you got part where it's just we're not allowing it to be sent off to people in war. So Senator Taft in this one is very much against Roosevelt and his desire to send what he views as sexually explicit or bad books to people in Europe that are dying for the cause of liberty and freedom and trying to overthrow Hitler. We do not get any kind of exposure to the whole thing with Japan. It's mainly Hitler's regime. And we get the beginnings of a lot of the stuff that happens at the very beginning. The burning of books and the propaganda and everything. Now, for people that want to know, because I know there's people out there that do want to know, are there LGBT characters in this book? Yes, there is. Viv and Hannah are considered to be LGBT because, just so people know, there are LGBT characters in this book. There's like 3 of them. But what is interesting about Viv and Hannah is that they are in the backdrop of before World War II and getting close to it, or like it's already happened. And Hannah works, I believe, it's Hannah. Hannah works in known as the Library of Burned Books. And it's not a library filled with burned books, it is what it's called. And it takes place in Paris. And Hannah has to stay in Paris for a certain number of months before she can go back home to America. As interesting is, during the course of this, we are introduced to several events that make up what Hitler did, what Hitler believed, what his people believed, the brown shirts, how they would just assault people. They went and they beat a woman for being a race traitor, which, as I said in the Kindle reading vlog, is also the same language that skinheads use. I found this book to be really interesting because even though Hannah and Viv Hannah was very naive about Germany, because I believe Viv was born in Paris, or was born in France, or might have been Berlin, one of the two. And she has this, kind of memory of what these places used to be before Hitler came around, and how all of that ended. And Hannah is naive. She's a very naive young woman. And she comes from a land where everybody has freedom. Well, most everybody has freedom. And she is, because of who she is, because of all this stuff, she comes into Paris very much with her eyes in these rose-colored glasses, and how the Nazis ripped it off, and and how she saw the brutality of humanity and how they can turn on each other like rabid dogs. And it's sad to see that happen, but it's also important for her development as a character, is to experience the nastiness of humanity. But then she comments about how when she came back from all that racism, all that hatred, she comes back to a country that is, people of color had a drink from different water fountains than white people. How people believed that Jews were the scourge of the planet, and how it made her physically ill, because she knew what was going on in Germany and in other places. She has a very powerful speech about censorship and about the types of stuff that Senator Taft wanted and championed for. This book was so good. It was so good. I loved every minute of reading this book. I could not, once I got to like chapter 30, I could not put it down. It just had me gripped from the first page all the way to the end. And she does give a little synopsis about Hitler and about the Nazis, and it's just a really great book. So if you are a big supporter of freedom of reading and being able to read whatever you want, even if you don't agree with the content inside the book, the ability to actually be able to read and form your own opinion, I really recommend that you read this book. This book was so good. And I loved the Boxcar Librarian so much. I'm actually buying a physical copy of that book. But we may not like the smutty romanticities and stuff, but we and political books and all that type of stuff. But we should always support people's right to read whatever they want, because this book really shows what can happen when we allow very evil people to gain power. Alright, so I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. Excellent book. I'm actually going to go back on there and see if one of the other books I want to get is on Kindle Unlimited. And if it is, I'm going to get it. So I'll see you guys next time.